Moving onwards to a second module, that is the abstraction level. The Verilog language has the capability of designing a module in the several coding styles. Here, the coding styles means that whether we are designing our code at a high level abstraction or at a low level abstraction. So on that behalf, the Verilog supports 4 different levels of the abstraction, and it depends on the need of the design. Internally, each module we can define at the 3 levels of the abstraction. The 4th one, it is generally being avoided because the synthesis of the 4th level of abstraction is quite difficult, and also designing the code in our 4th level of abstraction, that is the switch level of abstraction, is quite complex for understanding. Now we know more about the level of abstraction in quite a minute. So here one of the key point is that irrespective of the internal abstraction level, all the module will behave exactly the similar way to the external environment. Means all the different levels of the abstraction, they work in the same way we want to work in the external environment, but they are different in the way of execution at the internal level. Here the internal level means like how they gonna synthesize on the hardware and how they can utilize those hardware by performing the same functionality. Now let's talk about the 4 level of the abstraction in the Verilog. So we are defining the abstraction level going from the high level abstraction moves to the low level, and the 4th level of abstraction, that is the switch level or the transistor level of abstraction. It is not possible to defining our switch level of the modeling in the Verilog because it can't be synthesized. So this type of level of modeling we are generally being avoided. So mostly focus on these 3 level of the modeling. Now let's first talk about our first high level of modeling, is the behavior level of modeling, or we call it the algorithmic modeling. It's more like we are defining the logic in terms of an algorithm. Here we don't know about the internals of the circuit, we only know about its input and how the output will change when we change the input. So to understand that in a much better way, let's take an example of the 2:1 multiplexer. So here first we are defining our mux. It has 2 input, A, B, 1 select line and output. So for the behavior modeling, we don't know about the internals of this mux. It's more like we are considering it as a black box. So we only know about its lookup table. So like if you know that for the mux, if our select line is 0, we get the output as A, select line is 1, output B. So for defining anything in the behavior modeling, we only know about its lookup table. So in our case, if we are assigning like select is 0, our out is A, otherwise out is B. So in this way, we don't know about the internals of the how the things and what are the gates inside this one. We only know about this input and the output relation. So this type of modeling we call the behavior modeling, because we only know about the behavior of the design. Now moving onwards to a data flow modeling. Here the data flow modeling means that how the data is flow in our circuit using our resistors or our wires. It's more like we are defining its logical equation, and so we are designing our program in terms of its logical equations. For example, for the same mux, we know that our out will depend on our select input. If select is 1, output is B, otherwise output is A. We use both our input and the output, and we are defining its equation. And if the internal resistors are being used, so we can define those in the data flow modeling. So in the data flow modeling, we basically use with the help of a assign statement. So assign statement, these are the continuous assignment statement, and this is the operator. We get to know more about the assign and the operators in our upcoming lectures. So just ignore these things. The only catch here is that defining everything in terms of its logical equation. Now moving on to a third level of abstraction level, that is the structure modeling or the gate level of the modeling. If we go one level down to here, so inside the mux we are defining our mux in terms of the gates. So if we are defining our circuit at the gate level and defining it in the Verilog, we call it the gate level of the modeling. Here we have to define our each gates. So for example, like the OR AND gate, so we are putting all those gates like AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, and we instantiate all those gates in our one module. So this type of way we are defining our code we call the structure level of the modeling. So if we go more deep, then we're defining our gates in terms of the transistor, and we call it the switch level of the modeling. Generally the switch level of modeling is avoided because it is not necessary to design the things at so much deeper level. Otherwise it becomes so complicated of designing a simple circuits in terms of the transistor level. Even though the Verilog can't synthesize the switch level of the modeling, it will synthesize only these three type of the modeling. So now we got the idea about the three level of the modeling. Let's talk little bit about what's the difference between the three level of the modeling and their key points. So the first about the gate level of the modeling. As we know, it is a low level of hardware modeling. Here the circuit are being described in terms of the gates, and its level of abstraction is low level. This type of gate level modeling is generally being preferred for our combinational circuit, because defining the combinational circuit at the gate level is quite easy and it gives us more control on the hardware. So how the hardware is generated, we got more about if we go for the gate level of modeling. Now the data flow modeling, it is in between our gate level and our behavior level of modeling. So in this we know about how the data is flow between the register, and its level of abstraction is high level. It is preferred for the combinational circuits. Now our behavior modeling, so it's more like our algorithmic modeling, higher level of abstraction. Like in the data flow we still need about our registers and wires, but on the behavior modeling we don't need about that. It is more like a C programming language without knowing about what's going to happen inside our hardware. So this type of modeling is generally being preferred for our sequential circuits, because defining a sequential circuits in terms of the D flip-flop and going more in depth of the D flip-flop is quite difficult. So defining that at the behavior level of modeling is quite preferable and easy. And we can also define our combinational circuit with the behavior modeling. So these are the key points of our level of the abstraction in our Verilog.